In the early 1900s, American psychologist Edward Thorndike proposed a learning principle called the law of effect. Behavior, he believed, depends on its consequences. Building on Thorndike's ideas, psychologist B.F. Skinner began a series of animal experiments in the 1930s that led to an understanding of how positive and negative consequences shape behavior. He called this process operant conditioning.
I would define operant conditioning as shaping and maintaining behavior by making sure that reinforcing consequences follow. Let me give you an example. Suppose we have a pigeon here. It's an ordinary pigeon, but it's quite peacefully walking around in a small space. We watch it and notice what it's doing. Then we decide to condition some bit of its behavior. Suppose we take turning to the left a little bit. The pigeon is hungry, and we can give it a bit of food as what we call a reinforcer. It's a reinforcing consequence. We wait until it turns to the left and then immediately give it a bit of food. Almost at once we can see that it's turning to the left more rapidly than it did before, or more often. Now, if you wait a while and don't do this anymore, the pigeon will stop turning left. It's been extinguished. The response has been extinguished. The operant has been extinguished. Extinction is simply what happens when something no longer pays off. Then let us say you start in reinforcing turning again, but only if a light is on and not when the light is off. What will happen is that the pigeon will turn when the light is on, but not when the light is off. It's a form of discrimination. Or suppose you reinforce turning only if it's done quickly. The pigeon will start turning quickly. Or you can put it on a schedule of reinforcement, reinforce every so often. And there are certain schedules that get the pigeon to return very, very rapidly over long periods of time that way. These are various kinds of what we call contingencies of reinforcement, the ways in which the reinforcement is contingent on what the pigeon is doing. And in the laboratory, under very good conditions, you get almost total control. Behavior is shaped and maintained by its consequences, and that is the whole art and science of operant conditioning.